Welcome to the Making of a Man podcast, where we dive deep into what it means to be a man of God in today's world. I'm your host, Mike Judd, and each week we'll explore how following Christ can transform not just our lives, but our marriages, our families, and the world around us. In a culture filled with so many voices defining manhood, we're turning to the only voice that matters, God's. Through scripture, conversations, and stories from men walking the journey of faith, we'll discover how to live with strength, humility, and purpose as men created in His image. Whether you're a husband, a father, or just someone seeking to grow in your relationship with Christ, this podcast is for you. Join us as we become the men we are called to be. Welcome to the Making of a Man podcast, where we explore biblical manhood, relationships, and purpose. Gentlemen, let me ask you something. When was the last time you showed your wife how much you loved her without saying the words, "I love you"? In today's episode, we're diving deep into what it truly means to invest in our wife. Being a husband is about so much more than grand gestures or occasional compliments. It's about the small, consistent ways we honor, cherish, and build up our wives. It's about leading with love, humility, and intention. Today, we'll explore practical advice from relationship experts like Ryan and Selena Frederick and Dr. John Gottman, dig into biblical wisdom, and share actionable steps to help you invest in your marriage in ways that can transform your connection. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's uncover how to love our wives as Christ loves the church. So how is it that we express our love without words? Have you ever heard the phrase, "Actions speak louder than words"? Ryan and Selena Frederick from Fierce Marriage take that to heart when they talk about love. They emphasize that love is as much about your tone and actions as it is about what you say. Here's a powerful quote from them. "Logic and reason mean nothing if it's not communicated in love." So how are we doing, men, at communicating love in ways that go beyond words? Speaking lovingly, even in disagreements, is crucial. Your tone matters as much as the words you choose. Tonight, try asking your wife, "How can I love you better?" This simple question opens the door to meaningful conversations that deepen your connection. Biblically, 1 John 3:18 reminds us, "Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." God calls us to do love, not just say love. The little things matter more than we often realize. Surprise her by preparing her favorite meal after a long day. Take over a chore she dislikes without her having to ask. Leave a thoughtful note or send a kind text to her to let you know you're thinking of her. For me, some of the most meaningful moments in my marriage come from small gestures. Making her lunch to take to work, bringing her a cup of coffee in the morning when I wake her up, starting her car on a cold winter morning, a note in her lunch, a small bouquet of flowers. These aren't grand gestures, but they speak volumes to my wife. Gentlemen, don't underestimate the power of the little things. So what does it really mean to invest in your wife, to truly show her that she is loved, cherished, and supported every day? It's about much more than just saying, "I love you." It's about living that love out every single day and dedicating time, energy, and resources to nurture and strengthen your marriage. This commitment encompasses various aspects such as emotional support, being present and attentive to her feelings and needs, our physical presence by spending quality time together to build shared experiences, in our spiritual growth, encouraging and participating in spiritual practice together, and personal development, supporting her in pursuing her individual goals and interests. As I mentioned earlier, Ryan and Selena Frederick, the founders of Fierce Marriage, emphasize the importance of expressing love through action and words. They suggest that while verbal affirmations like "I love you" are significant, demonstrating love through thoughtful actions can be equally impactful. For instance, Ryan discusses how husbands can better love their wives through their words, highlighting the power of communication in marriage. Additionally, Selena Frederick writes about the importance of speaking love through words, suggesting that how we communicate can significantly impact our relationships. Investing in your wife means dedicating time, energy, and resources to nurturing your marriage. It's about being emotionally present for her, whether she's having a good day or a hard day. When you show up for her emotionally, you're building something deeper than just words. It's also about your physical presence, spending quality time together, creating shared experiences that bring you closer. It's about growing spiritually together, encouraging each other in your faith, and supporting each other's relationship with God. And it's about supporting her personal growth, encouraging her to pursue her passions and dreams. A relationship is strongest when both partners feel seen, heard, and supported in every area of life. So remember, investing in your wife is about more than just saying, I love you. It's about nurturing her emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It's about expressing your love through actions, and that's what builds a lasting marriage. In the end, love isn't just a feeling. It's a commitment, a choice, and a lifelong investment. Investing in your wife means actively engaging in actions and communication that demonstrate your love and commitment, thereby fostering a deep and more fulfilling relationship. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you spent uninterrupted time with your wife? No kids, no phones, just the two of you. Quality time is one of the greatest investments you can make. It doesn't have to be fancy. A weekly date night, a quiet walk, or even 10 minutes of focused conversation each day can make a world of difference. Start small if you need to. Tonight, turn off the TV, sit down with her, and ask her how she's feeling. It's about being present. Your wife has dreams and passions. Are you supporting her in those? Investing in her is one of the best ways to show love. Encourage her to take that course she's been talking about, or take the kids for the evening so she can pursue her hobbies or passions. Biblically, we see in Proverbs 31:10-31 that a godly woman's contributions are deeply valued. Be the man who lifts her up and helps her thrive. Now, let's dive into what I think is one of the most powerful tools in your marriage toolbox: communication. Dr. John Gottman from the Gottman Institute talks about something called the emotional bank account. Imagine your relationship is like a bank account. Every positive interaction is a deposit, and every negative interaction is a withdrawal. The goal? Build that balance up so high that the occasional withdrawal doesn't leave you in the red. Expressing your appreciation is a simple but profound way to make deposits. Thank her often for dinner, for her hard work, for being an amazing mom. Don't let the little things go unnoticed. Following through on promises build trust. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Be attentive. When she speaks, put the phone down and look her in the eye. Show her that you value her. Another important way to invest is to turn toward bids for connection. If she shares something about her day or asks for your opinion, engage with her. Don't dismiss or ignore her. Avoiding withdrawals is equally important. Criticism, dismissiveness, or broken promises can drain your emotional bank account. Be mindful of your words and actions. Gottman's research shows successful relationships maintain a 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. That means 5 deposits for every 1 withdrawal. Keep those positive moments flowing. Biblically, Proverbs 15:1 reminds us, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Gentlemen, let's speak life into our marriages. Protecting your wife means more than physical safety. It's about safeguarding her emotional well-being too. Honor her by speaking well of her in public and in private. Be your biggest supporter, her safe place, and her advocate. So what are some practical takeaways from all this? I have a challenge for all of you this week. Find 3 ways to show love to your wife without saying the words, I love you. We've talked about a few things, but here's some ideas that you might include. Write her a handwritten note. Do something thoughtful she didn't expect. Ask her how you can better love and support her this week. Make her lunch. Bring her a cup of coffee in the morning. Start her car for her. Leave her a note telling her about something you love or appreciate about her. Reflect on what's one area where you can better invest in your wife and how you can make her feel more honored and supported in your daily actions. So far, we've talked about what a couple of experts have to say about loving our wives and investing in their well-being. But what does God have to say about this topic? As husbands, God calls us to love our wives deeply, not just with words, but with actions that reflect His love for us. In Ephesians 5:25, Paul writes, Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. This isn't about just feelings or romantic gestures. It's about sacrifice, selflessness, and a love that is active and intentional. God's love for the church wasn't shown in just words. It was demonstrated through Christ's actions, his sacrifice, his patience, his care. In the same way, we're called to show our wives love by the way we live, how we serve, and how we invest in them daily. Investing in our wives means putting her needs above our own. It means being present, offering emotional support, and helping her grow spiritually. It's praying together, encouraging her walk with God, and building a foundation of faith in your home. We don't always need to say, "I love you," to show it. God shows his love through his presence, his faithfulness, and his provision. As husbands, we can reflect this by being faithful, attentive, and thoughtful. A kind word, a selfless act, or simply being there for her speaks louder than words. When we love our wives as Christ loves the church, we build a relationship that honors God. Our investment in her is an act of worship, a reflection of God's love through us. And in those moments, even without words, she'll know she is deeply loved. So love your wife as Christ loves you, not just in what you say, but in what you do. And remember, investing in her isn't just a duty, it's a privilege, a way to glorify God and strengthen the beautiful bond he's given you. So let's recap what we've talked about today. We spoke about expressing our love through actions by investing time and energy and building deeper communication and connection. Brothers, your wife is a gift from God. Let's steward that gift well and love her like Christ loves the church. Marriage is not a one-time commitment, but an ongoing journey of love, growth, and faith. It's in the day-to-day moments where we have the opportunity to build trust, deepen intimacy, and show the unwavering love of Christ. Investing in your wife means being intentional with your words, your actions, and your time. It means listening more, sacrificing willingly, and honoring her with everything you do. Remember, no marriage is perfect, but every marriage can grow. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how these efforts transform your relationship. If this episode has encouraged you, share it with a friend or brother who might need this message. Also, I'd love to know what you think, so please leave your thoughts in the comments. There's a link in the description of this episode to let me know how this episode might have touched you. Let's close in prayer. Lord, thank you for the gift of marriage. Help us as husbands to reflect your love and how we honor and cherish our wives. Teach us to be patient, intentional, and selfless. Guide us to invest in our marriage in ways that glorify you. Amen. Thank you for joining us on the Making of a Man podcast. Remember, building a Christ-centered marriage is a journey, not a destination. Let's walk this path together. Until next time, keep striving to live with courage, vulnerability, and faith. And remember, you were created with purpose, and God has a plan for your life.